Hello, welcome to the vlog. My name is Jay, and I'm sick. I'm now going to cough to prove it. My GoFundMe will be linked down below. Normally, I start the videos by telling you what project I'm working on, but that's actually why I come to you today, because a lot has transpired since we last spoke. So in my last video, I was telling you guys that I was working on Grace, which is a literary fiction book about a special ed substitute teacher, which is also my job. I was talking about how the progress was slow going and how I was kind of hung up on my other book, the shark book, which is another literary fiction book. It is about these two shark divers in the Florida Keys, and I kept talking about it, and I have noticed something about my videos. Whenever I come on here and I'm like, guys, I'm changing projects, or guys, I have to rewrite my book, it's always foreshadowed in the videos before it, but I'm just delusional and I just try to resist it. But yeah, the signs were there, and I was FaceTiming some writing friends the other day, and my dear friend Ryan was like, I was talking about Grace and how I was struggling with it, and she was like, let me stop you right there. I think you want to work on the shark book. And I was like, maybe. And I had that thought a couple times in the week leading up to our FaceTime call, but I was like, I can't switch projects again. I just stopped working on the shark book to work on Grace, and it's been like a month, and I can't even work on it for a month without getting tired of it. I was just trying to resist it. But deep down, I did want to work on the shark book, which we'll get into if I'm actually going to work on the shark book. I don't know what's going on right now. But I did know that I needed to stop working on Grace because it was starting to feel like a chore and like homework. And I think partially it's because, like I said, my job is what I'm writing about. I like writing to be an escape. There was no escape. So I think maybe I need to save Grace for the summer when I'm not actually working in a classroom every day. But yeah, I was dreading writing, and like on my writing sprints with my friends, I was tempted to go on Instagram for some reason, which I've never felt that before when I was writing with my friends. So to all the Grace fans out there, you're not going to be hearing about that for a while. I left it in a good place. I made some good progress. I still believe in the book. I think it's going to be great one day, but it's just draining me to work on it right now. So sorry, that was short-lived, but Grace is over. And that leads me to the shark book. It's about two shark divers in the Florida Keys. Like I said, they are best friends, and the book it's about a lot of things, but at the core, it's about childhood friendship and codependency, and I love it very much. So I was talking about the shark book in my last video and talking about how I'm always thinking of those characters, which is true. However, I opened the shark book that same night that Ryan called me out, and I started looking into it, and I got really excited because I really love the story. Distance from it did give me a couple of breakthroughs in terms of structure and one of the big plot points at the end, but I started trying to work on it, and I was just so overwhelmed of where to even begin, because I have I have this brain dump document that's over 40,000 words, and I don't know if I should go through and try to make a clean outline. I started trying to do that, but it was just such a mess, and I was like, maybe I should just go in and draft. It's split up into different sections. I was like, maybe I should just draft the first section because I know everything that's supposed to happen in it, but I just was feeling like I didn't want to do that. I don't know. I just feel so unmotivated by it. Okay. So, and that led me to have two thoughts. The second thought, spoilers, that I should work on a different book altogether, which I will talk about in a minute. But my other thought is maybe that I'm just starting in the wrong place with that book, because I was working on the beginning back in December when I decided I needed to set the book down for a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe there's something off with the beginning. Right now I have the book starting with the first day that my boys meet and kind of everything that happens between them. I like that, and I kind of want the story to be chronological, and I want you to follow them through every stage of their friendship, but I'm like, maybe that's not what I should be doing. I don't know. So I kind of want to play around with that. I don't know why else I would feel so weird about the beginning, or maybe I'm just starting it the wrong way and I just need to scrap what I have and try again. I did also go in and start drafting the midpoint because I know the midpoint, and it was great. I like how it was turning out, but I feel like I want to draft it linearly, but I feel too overwhelmed to draft it linearly. I just don't know what's wrong with me. The moral of the story is I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I can't focus on a book right now. I did just start Zoloft, so that could also be why. But I just feel like I'm quitting on books. Like when they get hard, I'm like, okay, I need to work on something else. But I just should probably just push through when it gets hard. But then it feels like writing is a chore, and I don't want it to feel like a chore. I want to feel fulfilled by the writing. I feel like I need to be making progress to feel fulfilled, because in my line of work as a substitute teacher, every single day someone asks me if I'm working to get a master's degree, and I have to be like, no, I'm writing a book. Master's degree. So it just feels like I'm in a unique situation where every single day someone is asking me what my life plan is, and I have to confront every single day that I want to be a writer. And it just feels very discouraging that I can't seem to make progress on anything. And my goal is to start querying in 2027. But now I don't even know what I'm working on, because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm thinking maybe I'm still too close to the shark book. And it's not so much that I want to start working on the shark book as much as it was that I wanted to stop working on Grace. And I think I automatically was like, oh, I should work on the shark book, because I do think about my characters all the time, but maybe I should just let them marinate a little bit longer. I don't know. Because for some reason recently, I have been thinking about my fish book. Oh, yes, there is a fish book and a shark book. They're different. The fish book is in reference to salmon, not sharks. So I think it was 2 years ago, was working on the second draft of this book called The Fish Book. I don't want to give away what it's really about, but it takes place in Alaska, and my main character's dad goes missing the day that the story starts. And I got about halfway through the second draft of this book, and I kind of realized I wanted to make some pretty significant changes to it, like to the plot, but I was too overwhelmed at the time, noticed a pattern here, to do it. So I was like, let me put it aside. And then I started working on the shark book and got swept up in that. And then I started working on Grace. Recently, I've been called to the fish book. And so yesterday I was FaceTiming Kathryn. Shout out Kathryn. It was our first time meeting, and she was just lovely. We were supposed to do a writing sprint, and I was supposed to work on the shark book during that sprint. And then the sprint started, and I opened my fish book, and I read through it for the entire 30 minutes. And I was telling Kathryn, but it was kind of good. There are some lines in there that I was really shocked that I wrote, because they were really beautiful. It was really heavy-handed on like the info dumping in the beginning, and it had some issues for sure, but I see a lot of potential with it. And it's been over a year since I've worked on it, and I feel like I have very fresh eyes, obviously, and maybe now is the time that I should work on it. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to keep jumping around between projects, but I also want to be happy with what I'm writing and not just feel like I need to make progress, because if I'm only writing thinking about publication, then I'm going to be so unfulfilled and constantly disappointed. Yeah, in this vlog, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like because I make videos, I always want to like wrap all my issues up within the time that I'm filming. I don't know if I'm going to decide what I'm working on in this video, or if I'm just going to not. But I will say I want to continue reading the fish book. I might finish reading everything that I have in this vlog and just see if I have any big bursts of inspiration to work on it. I don't know what's going on, but I just want to make sure I'm happy when I'm writing. And right now I'm just feeling weird about everything, so I want to sort it out and take my time, because I'm always rushing. Bye. Hey guys, welcome to the Poppies. I came here this morning to film some B-roll of them, and they were so beautiful. And I found this area that I've never seen before. Oh my god, it's so pretty. It's not really showing up on camera how pretty it is. I also have pepper spray because I am in public near a busy street, and I just want to make sure. I know this is weird. I know I'm really far away from the camera, but it's so pretty. So I reread more of the fish book. I read up to the halfway point of what I had written so far, and I love the characters so much. The story overall is so sweet, and it's like nothing I've been writing recently. Like, it's dark, it definitely has dark elements, but overall it's happy. It ends happy. Well, that's not really true, but it just feels like cozy. There are parts of the story, it's kind of a mystery. Like I said, my main character's dad goes missing, so it's kind of a mystery. I'm gonna sit down, actually. I'm not sure how to stand. So yeah, like I said, my main character's dad goes missing, so there's a mystery element to it, and I forgot things that I made happen, and they are pretty compelling. I'm quite proud of the craftsmanship. Yeah, I didn't know I had that in me. I felt like because I had written it a little while ago, it must be terrible. I know you couldn't hear that, but a child just screamed really loud. I kind of assumed it would be maybe bad because I had written it so long ago, but there's a lot in there that I think when I do the revamp of it, I'm going to keep. Like, the characters are great. There's some plot twists that are coming up. There's this weird little habit. I can share this because it's not a spoiler, but my main character collects... Okay, so fish have this weird bone for their ear. I think it's called an otolith. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it's kind of like this little rock, and my main character collects them. She has like a reason for collecting them, and then something weird happens with them. I just thought that was cool. My main character is really fleshed out, and honestly, everyone's really fleshed out. I drafted this draft really clean. I only made it halfway, but what's there reads like a book, and it's definitely not perfect. I think I didn't trust the reader as much as I would trust them now. So I'm really explaining everything. And I think I'm going to explain maybe nothing in the next draft. Like, oh my gosh, I wish you could see my view. It's so pretty and the moon is full. Hang on, I don't want to step on any flowers. Oh, you're over there. I don't remember what I was talking about. So my main character, she has this controversial habit. And in the book, as it is right now, I was like, even my main character, as she was narrating, was like, I know it's not good, but I do it anyways. And I think I can just trust the reader to know that it's not good. I think the plot is actually a lot more compelling than I thought it was. I remember the main reason I stopped working on it was that I felt like the plot was so predictable and boring. Since I've written that, I've definitely discovered that I'm more of a character-based writer because those are the books that I like to read. So I'm not really worried about the plot. I'm like, the plot is more than enough compared to the books I'm writing now. There doesn't really need to be a plot. I more so want to focus on the characters, and the characters are so compelling. I really like my main character. It's kind of a coming-of-age story, but it's an adult book, so it's like a retrospective narrative. Yeah, I don't know if this means I want to write it, like if I want to not write the shark book and write this, but I do feel really excited about it. I was watching a video from Kenzie recently, and she was talking about how she's doubting her project and she doesn't know if she can trust her feelings about it because she cares about the project so much. And that's kind of how I'm feeling, because I'm like, I wrote it when I think I was 19 when I thought of the idea. Actually, when I thought of the idea, I think I was like 18 or maybe 17. Obviously, it's going to be way different now, the way I'm going to write it, but just the fact that I've had it with me for so long, I'm tempted to just be like, oh, I've grown as a writer, I can't use this. And I really can't tell if it's actually good or if I just feel really nostalgic for it. But I'm trying to focus less on what's good or whatever. Like, I just need to write something I actually like. Ugh. My life is so hard. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to keep reading it. I do feel really excited by it, and I feel like maybe it's time to go back, because I don't know why. I think if I were to work on the shark book, even though it's my baby, it would drain me. Oh my god, it's so beautiful out here. I just want to stay out here, but I have nothing more to talk about. I'll think of something. Okay, yeah, I can't think of anything else to talk about. I'm sick, in case we've forgotten. I finished the read through. Before I get into my points, which I do have written on sticky notes, I will just say I am so baffled what compelled me to write this book. I don't know what I was reading at the time. It's so weird. Like, I would never write this now. Like, I would never even think to write something like this now, but I wrote it. And my first note is that, well, my first bullet point just says T. I will say left and right, I was stunned. I only, like I mentioned before, wrote up to the midpoint. Like, I read through the rest of my outline too. And yeah, wow. It's a story. It has merit. It has, the pacing is good. The mystery is compelling. The relationships are like, oh my God, you did not just say that. Yeah, I would just want to say to my past self, you knocked it out of the park, and I'm really proud of you. This brings me to my second point. I don't like the writing style. It's hard to explain what it reads like. It's very atmospheric. Every couple paragraphs, I'm like, let me give you the metaphor of your life for the rain. And it's like, oh my God, no wonder I got so burnt out writing this draft. Some of the metaphors are good. Again, I would never think of them now. I don't know what I was reading or what I was on, but I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just getting worse as a writer. But I'm like, I like to build atmosphere, but I'll give you a couple sentences at the beginning and then you just gotta remember what I said earlier. Yeah, it's very flowery. It's also the internal monologue is really hitting the nail on the head of every single thing my main character is thinking and feeling. And I think less is more. Some of it is interesting stuff that I would keep, but a lot of it's like, girl, no wonder everyone hates you. Everyone hates her. She's really annoying. And she's like, why does everyone hate me? It does kind of have similarities to the Shark book in that it's a relationship where one person is clearly a better person and then the other person just happens to latch onto them and gets to be their friend. My third note, I didn't finish my second note. So yeah, the writing style is so different from what I would write now. And thinking about revisiting the book, I'm like, would it even survive my new writing style? Like, would it even translate? I like books now that are grounded. I don't think I mentioned this, but there are speculative elements to the book. I guess you could call it speculative literary fiction. Is that a genre? And nowadays, I really like to write things that are grounded really heavily in reality. But this story just wouldn't work like that. I'm just wondering if my new writing style that's not as flowery, if it would work for a speculative book. Or I don't know. And then this brings me to my third point, which is, it just says, should I even? As in, maybe I had a stroke of genius and I should just stop. Maybe I don't need to revive it. Just because it's good doesn't mean that I need to revive it because it's not my thing anymore. Like, I don't think I would pick up a book like this. I almost wish someone else wrote it because it feels like it's pretty clean and it could have potential, but like I don't want to write it. Or if I do want to write it, but I want to write it in a different way. And I just don't know if I should. So that's my third point. Yeah, like I said, I don't really see myself coming to a conclusion in this video, so I don't know if I'm going to revisit it, but I definitely enjoyed it. I think it's a good story, and I might revisit it. I don't know. I have to think about it. I would have to imagine what it would be like, the new revamped version, and think if that's even a story worth telling. I don't know. I will say this kind of inspired me in relation to the Shark book because this is a draft 2 that I just read of the Fish book, and it was really good. Like, in terms of development and just where certain things were placed in the narrative, like, oh, here's the perfect place to drop this piece of backstory, or here's a perfect place to develop this character relationship. It was all really well done. The pacing was really good. At first I was like, have I gotten worse as a writer? Because this is really good and I don't feel like I can do this anymore. And then I remember I wrote a messy first draft of it to get the story out, and then I was able to see the whole story clearly, and then I was able to fix the plot stuff and then go in and make it better. Obviously, that's what you're supposed to do. I know this is not a revelation anyone else is having. Everyone else knew this. I now know it as well. So it inspired me to maybe just go in and make a messy first draft of the Shark book, which honestly, with how huge my outline is, I feel like I already have a messy first draft almost, but it's not, it's just kind of scattered everywhere. I could go in, I could just write it, and then look at the overview, make sure everything is there, and then go in and make it pretty once I have everything sorted out. Again, this is what you're supposed to do. So like I said, I don't know. Am I going back to the shark book? Am I going to the fish book? I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I really enjoyed reading my old work in this video with you guys. I definitely feel more at peace about writing. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know that I can write a book. Because lately I've been feeling very overwhelmed and like I can't write a book because it's just too much. But it's because I'm trying to do too much at the same time. I just need to slow down. It's not that hard. Well, it is that hard, but I've done it before. I've done it twice. I know I can do it again. I'm proud of myself for slowing down. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, was getting really obsessed with making progress and moving towards publishing. And I still am obsessed with that, but I can take a breather. This vlog is just me coming to terms with the fact that I have to write a book like a normal person. I love you. Goodbye.